Do you remember that feeling? You sit down to focus on an important task, open a book, or simply try to think a single thought through to its conclusion. And within 5, maybe 10 minutes, your hand seems to reach for your smartphone on its own. You check for notifications, mindlessly scroll through a feed, jump from one short video to the next. Then you return to your work with a sense of lingering guilt and frustration. You try to gather your scattered focus, clenching your willpower like a fist, only to lose again. Sound familiar? If so, you are not alone. This is not a personal failing. It is the result of a profound and rapid evolution of the human mind that has occurred over a shockingly short period. This is the story of our journey from the scroll to the swipe, and it answers the question that plagues millions: why your brain can no longer concentrate. To understand the depth of this change, we must travel back in time. Imagine a person in the classical era. Their world was quiet and slow. Information arrived primarily through the spoken word. They could listen for hours to an orator's speech or an epic poem, absorbing complex narratives and layered metaphors. Their brain was trained for sustained, deep concentration. Writing existed but was rare and precious. The scroll they read demanded active participation. It required 2 hands to unroll, slowly immersing oneself in the text, moving back to reread a difficult passage. It was a dialogue with information. That person's mind was like a marathon runner, capable of a long, steady pace on a single path. Then came the age of Gutenberg and the printing press. The book became a mass medium. This was a colossal leap, yet it did not fundamentally alter the nature of attention. Reading a book still required effort. You sat in a chair, holding a heavy tome, and your gaze moved line by line, page after page. It was a linear, sequential process. The brain built complex neural pathways, following a narrative, constructing entire worlds in the imagination. Distractions were minimal. The silence of a library, the sound of a rooster outside, the crackle of logs in a fireplace. No notifications, no hyperlinks leading to another universe, no temptation to check something else in a second. Your attention was like a spotlight beam, which you directed at a single object and held for as long as necessary. Now, let us look at our digital age. What is your smartphone or your computer to your brain? It is not merely a tool. It is the most efficient attention capture device in human history. It was created and refined by thousands of brilliant engineers and designers with one primary goal: to keep you on the screen for as long as possible. Every notification, every red badge with a number, every pull to refresh is not an accident. It is a carefully calculated trigger designed to hijack your ability to concentrate. Let us break down the mechanics of this disruption. Our attention relies on 2 key systems. The first is involuntary attention. It is ancient, primitive, and activates automatically to anything new, bright, or potentially threatening. A sudden sound, a flash of light, movement in the bushes. The second system is voluntary attention. It is evolutionarily newer, complex, and energy-intensive. It is that spotlight you consciously direct at a boring report, a difficult book, or learning a new skill. It requires effort and depletes quickly. The digital environment ruthlessly exploits your ancient involuntary attention system to suppress the younger, more fragile voluntary system. Every time your phone vibrates, it mimics that sudden noise that signaled danger to your ancestors. Every time you pull down to refresh your feed, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of anticipation and reward. You do not know what you will see next: a funny cat video, shocking news, or a message from a friend. It is the same lottery that keeps gamblers at slot machines. You enter a vicious cycle. Your brain becomes accustomed to constant, easy, cheap dopamine hits. The long, deep work that does not promise immediate reward becomes agonizing. It feels boring. Your brain craves another hit. This leads to a fundamental rewiring of your cognition. You lose the ability to enter a state of deep flow, where hours feel like minutes and you are fully absorbed in a task. Instead, your thinking becomes clipped and fragmented. You consume information in short, disconnected bursts. You grow accustomed to simple, fast answers. Complex, multifaceted problems that require prolonged contemplation begin to trigger aversion and cognitive overload. Your memory suffers, too. Why memorize a fact you can instantly Google? Why build a complex mental map of knowledge when an algorithm will curate your next piece of content? You are gradually outsourcing your cognitive functions to digital devices. And your brain, like any muscle that is not used, begins to weaken. The neural pathways responsible for deep focus atrophy without constant training. The consequences extend far beyond the irritation of not finishing an article. This affects every part of your life. your productivity at work plummets. Instead of completing one complex task in 3 focused hours, you stretch it over a whole day, constantly switching between messengers, email, and social media. Each switch costs your brain significant energy to return to the original task. You make more errors, your ideas become more superficial, your ability to learn slows down. Mastering a language, an instrument, or a complex subject all require the very type of attention we are so diligently destroying. Your personal relationships change. You sit with friends at a cafe, but instead of conversation, you periodically dive into your screens. The most valuable resource you can give another person, your undivided attention, becomes a luxury. You deprive yourself and your loved ones of depth and genuine connection. But the most profound impact is on your inner life, your sense of self. The capacity for sustained concentration is not just a tool for work. It is the foundation of self-reflection, contemplation, and creativity. It is the quiet room where your most important thoughts are born, where difficult decisions are made, and where you understand yourself and your place in the world. When you deny yourself this quiet room, filling every spare second with digital noise, you risk losing touch with who you are. You live on the surface, reacting to external stimuli but not listening to your inner voice. You become afraid to be alone with your thoughts for even 5 minutes in a queue or on public transport. You grab your phone as a lifeline against boredom, but you are really running from yourself. So, what can you do? Recognize that this is not a harmless habit but a fundamental challenge to your cognitive and psychological well-being. The first step is to acknowledge that your attention is your most valuable resource in the 21st century, and a war is being waged over it. You must begin to defend it as fiercely as you would your wallet or your home. This requires conscious, sometimes drastic, measures. Start small. Introduce a digital fast. Designate 1 hour each day where you turn off all notifications, put your phone in another room, and engage in a single task. Read a physical book. Do not just read, but immerse yourself. Force your brain to return to difficult paragraphs, to follow a narrative thread, to resist the urge to switch. Train your attention like a muscle. Start with 15 minutes, then 30, then an hour. It will be difficult. Your brain will rebel, demanding its easy dopamine. You will catch your hand reaching for the phone. Resist. Craft an environment that supports focus, not fragmentation. Make your bedroom a screen-free zone. Do not take your phone to the bathroom. Use website blockers during work hours. Learn to be consciously bored. Instead of filling a pause with scrolling, just look out the window. Let your thoughts flow freely. It is in these moments that the most brilliant insights often appear. Your brain is not a computer with limitless multitasking ability. It is a delicate and powerful organ, designed by nature for depth, not for constant reaction. The evolution that took humanity thousands of years to build the capacity for deep thought has been reversed in just 2 decades. But this is not a life sentence. You can take back control. You can relearn how to direct the spotlight of your attention to where you want it, not where the algorithms pull it. You can find your way back from mindless scrolling to meaningful immersion. It all starts with one simple decision. The decision to put the phone down, take a deep breath,